From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, June 24th. Indianapolis has now logged more than 100 homicides for 2020. There have been 4 different shooting scenes just since last night. One person is dead, 4 others are wounded. The person who died was shot and killed at Waldemere Avenue in West Washington Street around 9 last night. A woman was hurt as well. Officers say someone fired several shots into their moving car. Here's what one woman told us she heard.
And then all of a sudden we heard 12 gunshots, and then the car just flew through the traffic light and ran up the sidewalk and crashed straight into the building. And then the lady jumped out the car screaming for help, and then that's pretty much, the police came pretty quick. So
police say the driver was shot about 7 times. The woman was shot once. 2 hours after that, 2 people were shot on Sherman Drive near 38th Street. Both are said to be stable. Last week, Indianapolis hit 100 homicides, and several more have been added since. Today, the search for a missing Indianapolis mother continues. Sierra McCaleb says her mom, Chanel Renee Gilbert, has been missing since the morning of June 9th. McCaleb says she was in Terre Haute when she got a call from her sister, worried that she'd not seen her mother for several hours. The two tracked Gilbert's cell phone to an apartment on the west side. They say Gilbert's ex-boyfriend lives there, and one of the daughters asked to come inside, but he refused. Police confirmed Gilbert's car was there at the apartment, but they searched and she wasn't there. Here's Sierra.
She was just like asking if she could go in the house, and he wouldn't let her. As soon as she seen that, okay, her car is here and he won't let her in, he can't find our mom, so she's going to file a missing person report at that point.
If you may know something about this case, please reach out to IMPD. Right now, all they will tell News 8 is that they're investigating. A Republican policing bill has hit a roadblock as Senate Democrats voted against it today as inadequate. That leaves the parties to decide whether to negotiate a compromise or walk away, despite public outcry over the killings of Black Americans. Democrats want greater changes in police tactics and accountability. They're backed by leading civil rights groups. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says Democrats are engaging in political nonsense. The impasse threatens to turn the nationwide protests over the deaths of George Floyd and others into a moment that galvanizes the nation, but leaves lawmakers unable to act. The House is set to approve the Democratic bill tomorrow. McConnell also says that they're going to try again with hopes of getting it passed before the July 4th holiday. The Louisville police officer involved in the deadly shooting of Breonna Taylor is fired. Taylor was shot and killed in March when police busted into her home using a no-knock warrant during a drug investigation. Brett Hankinson fired 10 rounds into the apartment. In a termination letter, the department says the officer violated procedures by showing extreme indifference to the value of the human life. It also says that Hankinson violated the rule against using deadly force. The historic South Carolina city of Charleston is removing a symbol of its legacy. This is huge. The city has crews working right now to take away a statue that honored John C. Calhoun, an early U.S. vice president whose zealous defense of slavery led the nation towards civil war. After a night-long struggle, the workers decided to bring in a diamond cutter to break through a metal post, securing the statue to a pedestal that towered more than 100 feet above a downtown square. The city council heard from supporters and opponents before voting to remove what it's calling a symbol of white supremacy. Now to the coronavirus. Right now, hospital administrators and healthcare experts are warning that parts of the United States are on the verge of being overwhelmed by the virus, lamenting that a restriction-weary public and politicians are letting disaster unfold. With 34,700 COVID-19 cases reported yesterday, the U.S. is back near its late April peak of 36,400. While new cases have been declining steadily in early U.S. hotspots like New York and New Jersey, several other states set single-day case records yesterday. They include Arizona, California, Mississippi, Nevada, and Texas. Some of them also broke hospitalization records. And Michael Brogdon is the latest NBA player to test positive for the coronavirus. The Pacers guard made the announcement today and has already begun his quarantine. It's not clear how he contracted the virus, but as Wish TV sports director Anthony Calhoun reports, speculation has already begun. Brogdon is one of several NBA players who marched in protests fighting racism after the death of George Floyd. Brogdon made his presence felt while participating in a march in Atlanta last month, speaking to fellow protesters through a megaphone and sharing how inspired he was by his grandfather, who marched with Martin Luther King Jr. in the 1960s. Brogdon released a statement this afternoon saying, "I recently tested positive for the COVID virus and am currently in quarantine. I'm doing well, feeling well, and progressing well. I plan to join my teammates in Orlando for the resumption of the NBA season and playoffs." Marion County schools say the 2020-2021 academic year will begin on schedule despite the pandemic still sweeping across our nation. Some of the schools are opening back up as early as next month after Marion County moves into stage 5 COVID restrictions. Classrooms are going to be a little different from the last time students set foot in school. COVID-19 precautions will be set in place per the Department of Health, but districts are waiting to say exactly what that will look like. Lawrence Township says more details will be available on July 6th. Others say early July. The virus will still be here as classes resume, of course. All traditional public school districts in Marion County, like Wayne Township, are hiring teachers to specifically conduct e-learning for those families that simply don't feel comfortable sending their child back to school so soon. Carmel Clay schools also plan to open with a virtual learning option. Right now, it will be just for students and staff with underlying health issues. In a letter sent to parents, the district said schools will open on August 11th. The district has a planning group working on detailed procedures, and leaders plan to release more details to families early next month. This year's New York City Marathon has been canceled because of the pandemic. The race was scheduled to take place November 1st, so months out from now. Organizers said they made the decision to cancel because of coronavirus-related health and safety concerns for runners, spectators, volunteers, staff, and the many partners and communities that support the event. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio praised the decision and said he looked forward to hosting the 50th running of the race in 2021. The European Union is looking at possibly blocking Americans from visiting member nations. This comes as the union prepares to open its borders on July 1st. According to the New York Times, EU officials are using scientific data and infection rates to determine who could visit. The Times reports that China, Uganda, Cuba, and Vietnam would be allowed to travel to EU nations. United States, Brazil, and Russia were not mentioned. No official decision has been made. Since mid-March, the European Union has only allowed essential travel for non-member nations. Attorney General William Barr will testify before the House Judiciary Committee next month for the first time as the panel examines whether he has inappropriately politicized the Justice Department. One of Barr's federal prosecutors is testifying to the committee Wednesday. One of Barr's federal prosecutors is testifying to the committee today that Roger Stone, a close ally of President Donald Trump, was given special treatment ahead of his sentencing because of his relationship with the president. As the hearing began today, Justice Department spokesperson Carrie Kupak tweeted that Barr would accept the panel's invitation to testify July 28th. German pharma giant Bayer says it is paying up to $10.9 billion to settle litigation over subsidiary Monsanto's weed killer Roundup. Monsanto has faced numerous lawsuits over claims that Roundup causes cancer. In a statement today, Bayer said it was also going to pay $1.22 billion to settle 2 other cases, one involving PCB in water. The company says the Roundup settlement involves about 125,000 filed and unfiled claims. Under the agreement, Bayer will make a payment of $8.8 billion to $9.6 billion to resolve current litigation over Roundup and $1.25 billion to address potential future litigation. This has been your News 8 Daily 8. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
AllIndianaPodcastNetwork.com.